Here in Harbor Grace, Newfoundland, a beautiful harbor about an hour and a half outside of St. John, Newfoundland. I can tell you there is a heavy fear amongst people here about Danny Williams. They are conservative organizers, conservative people saying that their people are scared, that Danny Williams and his people have been threatening people and their businesses if they vote conservative or they contribute any money. Jim Morgan, a former Newfoundland fisheries minister, just told me, he says there is a heavy fear around here from a man who almost has too much power. Mr. Morgan said that campaign workers and ordinary conservatives were told to stay away from this Harper event. And I was talking to Lyle O'Hearn, who is the fisheries minister, and he said he's had candidates who he was trying to run in St. John West, and they were told, Danny's people called them up and said, if you run, we'll ruin your father's business. Very, very serious campaign of intimidation here. Many of these conservatives saying it's far worse than the days when Joey Smallwood ruled.
Okay, now, Bob, this is not the first we're hearing of this, right? I mean, we've heard these kinds of allegations before, and I believe that Danny Williams has said, nothing of the sort is taking place, right?
Mr. Williams says he denies he's using any intimidation, but I've talked to a lot of people, and they say there is a campaign of intimidation, campaign workers being called, people who would donate to the party being called, normally the kind of people you'd see at these kind of events, and they're afraid to show up. It's one thing to hear it from a distance, another thing to hear people tell you right straight to your face that this is what's going on.
Right, and then, I mean, how do you even get to the bottom of what is going on, and what recourse, if something is going on, do these people have?
Well, they have the secrecy of the ballot box, but the people I've talked to, I think they're pretty straight shooters. I mean, they're really telling you, Newfoundlanders don't fool around. They tell you straight from the heart where they're speaking of, and I think they are saying that the people around Danny Williams are intimidating people from supporting the federal conservatives.
So let me ask you, I mean, you mentioned Loyola Hearn. We know that he recently announced that he's not running for re-election. Was this part and parcel, or how much of a factor was this? Because initially Mr. Hearn said it was personal reasons, right?
No, he's saying it's personal reasons for him as well. No doubt about that. But because he'd been in politics for a considerable period of time, and I think it was just his time to leave that aside. Why don't I put Jim Morgan on? Do you want to have a quick chat with him, former fisheries minister of Newfoundland, who says that there's a campaign of fear going on here against the conservative orchestrated by Danny Williams. Should you want to have a quick chat with him?
Okay, I think what we're going to do is perhaps we'll take you up on that offer, but if we can stand by, CTV's Robert Fife on the line from Newfoundland and some new developments there.